Have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered, where did all of this come from? For thousands of years, people have turned to a remarkable story found in the very first pages of the Bible for an answer. Today, we're going to dive deep into that story. The biblical account of creation. What does it say? What does it mean? And how does it continue to shape our understanding of the world and our place in it? Whether you're deeply familiar with this narrative or hearing it for the first time, join me as we journey back to the very beginning. The story begins in a state of nothingness. The Bible opens with the iconic words, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." It describes a world that was formless and empty, with darkness over the surface of the deep. This is a powerful image, a canvas of chaos and void, waiting for order and life. It introduces a core idea known as creation ex nihilo, which is Latin for creation out of nothing. The concept is that God didn't use pre-existing materials to build the universe. Instead, the universe itself was brought into existence by a divine act of will, a spoken word. This sets the stage for a spectacular unfolding of events, a step-by-step transformation from chaos to cosmos, all orchestrated by a single, powerful command. Let there be light. And with those words, the darkness was pierced, and the first day of creation began, setting in motion a week that would change everything forever. On the first day, with the famous declaration, "Let there be light," God separated light from darkness, creating day and night. This wasn't just about illumination. It was about establishing the fundamental rhythm of time that governs our lives. Then came the second day. God separated the waters, creating an expanse, what the text calls the sky, between the waters above and the waters below. This act brought structure to the world, creating the atmosphere and the firmament. The third day was a double feature. First, God gathered the waters together, allowing dry land to appear. The land was called earth, and the gathered waters were called seas. Then, in the second part of day 3, God commanded the earth to sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed and fruit trees bearing fruit. Life begins to emerge, not just randomly, but with the inherent ability to reproduce and fill the earth. In just 3 days, the formless void has been transformed into a structured, habitable world, ready for the next stages of creation. With the stage set, the next 3 days are all about filling the world God has just formed. On the fourth day, God turned his attention to the heavens. He created the sun, the moon, and the stars. These weren't just for light. They were set in the sky to serve as signs to mark seasons, days, and years. They are the great celestial timekeepers, bringing order and predictability to the cosmos. Day 5 is when the waters and the skies truly come alive. God commanded the waters to teem with living creatures and the skies to be filled with birds. The seas swarmed with life, from the smallest fish to the great sea creatures, and the air echoed with the sound of wings. This was a burst of dynamic, moving life, filling the habitats created on days 2 and 3. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." The world was now teeming with creatures, each according to its kind, setting the scene for the grand finale of creation. Day 6 arrives, and it's the climax of the creation week. The day is divided into 2 major acts. First, God populates the land he had formed. He speaks, and from the earth emerge the land animals, livestock, creatures that move along the ground, and wild animals, each according to its kind. The land, which was filled with vegetation on day 3, is now home to a diverse array of animal life. The ecosystem is almost complete. But the most significant act is yet to come. In the second part of day 6, God says something different. Instead of just commanding something to appear, there's a sense of divine consultation. Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness. This is a profound shift. Humans are not just another creature. They are created to reflect God Himself. The text says, God created them male and female and gave them a special role to be stewards of creation, to rule over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. Humanity is placed at the pinnacle of this created order, tasked with caring for the world God has made. After 6 days of creative work, the seventh day arrives. But on this day, God doesn't create anything new. Instead, He rests. The Bible says, on the seventh day, God had finished the work He had been doing. So on the seventh day, He rested from all His work. This isn't the rest of exhaustion, but a rest of completion and satisfaction. God blesses the seventh day and makes it holy, setting it apart as a day of peace and cessation from work. This establishes the concept of the Sabbath, a rhythm of work and rest that becomes a cornerstone of Jewish and Christian life. It's a reminder that rest is not a sign of weakness, but a vital part of the divine pattern for life. By resting, God models a principle for humanity, that our lives should have a balance of labor and rejuvenation, of doing and being. The creation week concludes not with a final burst of activity, but with a peaceful, holy rest, signifying that the work was complete and it was very good. So, what does this ancient story mean for us today? For millennia, people have debated its details. Is it a literal, scientific account of cosmic origins, or is it something more? Many theologians and scholars view the creation story not as a science textbook, but as a profound theological poem. It's a story that answers the big why questions rather than the wakis how questions. It tells us that God created, not necessarily how. He did it in scientific terms. The story communicates foundational truths, that the universe didn't come from random chaos, but from a purposeful, intelligent creator. It declares that creation is inherently good. It establishes that humanity holds a unique and dignified place in the cosmos, created in the image of God and entrusted with the care of the planet. And it introduces a rhythm of work and rest that is essential for human flourishing. The Genesis account isn't just about the beginning of the world, it's about our identity, our purpose, and our relationship with our Creator and the world around us. Reflecting on this grand narrative, we're left with a sense of wonder. The story of creation in Genesis is more than just an ancient text, it's a powerful invitation. It invites us to see the world not as a cosmic accident, but as a deliberate work of art, filled with purpose and meaning. It challenges us to consider our own role in this world. If we are made in the image of a creator, what does that mean for our own creativity and our responsibility to care for the earth? The story doesn't end with the seventh day. In many ways, it's just the beginning. It sets the stage for the entire human drama that unfolds throughout the rest of the Bible. It's a story of order from chaos, light from darkness, and life from nothingness. It's a story that continues to inspire, challenge, and shape the worldview of billions of people. No matter what you believe, the biblical creation story remains one of the most influential and thought-provoking narratives ever told, a timeless reflection on who we are and where we come from. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to the beginning. What part of the creation story stands out most to you? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading your thoughts and insights. If you enjoyed this exploration and want to dive into more stories that have shaped our world, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss our next video. Until next time, take care.